Okay, guys, we are live. Okay, welcome back to Let's Get Freaky podcast. Super excited to welcome our guest tonight. I think we're all over the US tonight, aren't we, guys? We're a little bit everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
all
we
over the
are.
place.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We have got Southern Fried Spirit Paranormal with us and the Unseen Realm podcast, guys, with us. Do you want to go around the table and introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your shows and your paranormal team? Let's go. Who wants to start?
Carla. I'm volunteering Carla just
Start us
And
up.
because, yeah,
what?
because she was here first.
My name is Carla, and I'm one of the co-founders of Southern Fried Spirits Paranormal. We started our team probably about 3.5, 4 years ago, and slowly been adding on. But we keep it small. We have about 8, 9 members total. That's the core group, actually, that goes out on investigations. About once a month. We try and schedule some good ones once a month, get everybody together. Uh, what else? My paranormal experiences started probably, or actually, the love of paranormal started when I was a child, and it was all due to my mom. She was so into the horror movies and the sci-fi stuff, and I got hooked when I was little, and so I just started the interest there. And then as I became an adult, it was more and more of the interest of trying to go out and investigate and understand what spirit was, and the techniques and tools and stuff like that. And so carry that forward to our teams and got a pretty good team.
Awesome. Awesome. Who's
Yay.
next?
Adam, because Adam came second.
Narrowing it
Well,
right on down.
th- thank you,
Yeah,
Catherine, for directing traffic. So,
yeah.
um, I'm Adam. Um, I present time of the group. I'm the only male in the group. Um,
Yay.
I,
Save
I,
him.
So out of nine,
SOS.
you're the only male.
yes, in the
Wow.
group currently. Um, I been part of the group for at least 3 years now.
Yeah.
I got adopted into it by Carla and um pretty much everybody, but yeah, um I had my first experience in the spooky stuff when I was about 12. I'm a believer in Bigfoot as well and aliens
Yes,
and
sir.
um a whole bunch of other little things, the in between stuff. I very much enjoy talking about conspiracy theories, stuff like that. So
My man. That's it. And then Catherine.
All right. So I am the last, well, no, Jackie's the last member who joined, but how I joined is I started my own YouTube channel called Crazy Catherine, as you see. And uh, I posted a video on there about my little adventures through Goatman's Bridge, and that I used to go camping in the woods back there with my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, and his friends. And I just posted just a little bit of the history, the folklore, and one of Adam's friends, Dawn, came stumbling across my YouTube video, and she messaged me on Facebook. She happened to find my full name on Facebook and messaged me. And at first I was like, who's this woman, and I'm like, is she real, or is she a scam or a fake person or whatever? And she's like, did you post that video about Goatman's Bridge? And we ended up communicating back and forth, and she's like, would you like to start your own show on the Temple of Phoenix Rising Facebook page? And I was like, yeah, that sounds like that sounds like fun. And so she introduced me on her show, and that's where I met Adam. And Adam found out that I also live in Texas. So all three of us are from Texas. Well, not originally from Texas, but all three of us currently live in Texas. And so he knew I was in Texas and invited me to go on an investigation with him and his team. And so I was really excited because I've never been on a paranormal investigation, but I've always been curious about the paranormal ever since I was a little girl. Because my grandma, we would watch paranormal shows. My parents would always have, Ghost Hunters or the other television shows on, and we'd watch it, and other horror movies and all that. And like Carla, my grandma got me into horror movies. So that's why I started my Crazy Catherine channel, because I used to do unboxings of horror items and all that, and autographs and stuff. And so
Awesome.
so I met them in Jefferson at the historic Jefferson Hotel, Jefferson, Texas, which is part of East Texas. And it was kind of crazy because they didn't know me personally. Carla's never met me at that time. Only Adam has seen me on the screen, just like how we see you on the screen. You don't, it's like, your first encounter and stuff, and you're trusting, you're inviting this person and to come and join your team on this investigation. And I was just very thankful that I got to meet them, and that they, welcomed me with open arms, because I could have just been a total psycho. And they're like, she is. No.
It's still in discussion.
Yeah.
And so, and I've been
A little
investigating
crazy.
with them ever since. Huh? A little
A little
crazy.
crazy.
That's awesome.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
So you've all been together 3 years. So at the moment, so far, so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah.
been great.
So you're all based in Texas right now.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yes.
we was talking before we started recording how big Texas is. Like it's
Yeah.
literally 4 times the size of the UK. I think. I think that's right.
Craziness.
It's big. You're like 6 hours away from each other. One of
Well,
you.
6 hours from Adam, and then like me and Carla only are like an hour and a half away from each other.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So how often do you guys meet up to investigate?
At
So
least
just-
once a month.
yeah.
At least.
That's cool. That's a lot then.
Mhm.
Considering
Yeah.
the 6 hour drive. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, we try and pick locations that are like more down south where Adam is, or then further east or north, or even just out of the state, bordering states type of a thing. And so we try and mix it up a lot, and so everybody gets a fair chance of not having to drive forever.
Yeah.
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 So you do the podcast as well?
Mhm.
Yes.
Awesome. And how many episodes are you on? And how did that start as well?
Oh man. How many episodes? Let me bring it up, because
Yeah.
I don't know it
Stay
off the top of my head.
tuned.
Yeah.
Are you talking about investigations that you've done and stuff like that, or is it what sort
Oh,
of thing
so
are you doing?
it's a mixture of both investigations and then
Mhm.
also guests as
Awesome.
well. So we'll have other, paranormal investigators on, we'll have authors on, psychic mediums,
Yeah.
and then we'll
Awesome.
also go over evidences of like places that we've been to, that we've investigated. We'll show videos and pictures of some of the things that we find. And currently we just did our because we do a podcast every first and third Thursday of each month. And so we just did one last Thursday on the 1st, and that was episode 24. So we've had 24 videos so
Awesome.
far.
Well, that sounds like a bit of me. That is everything you just said there is what I like. So I'm going to be listening. That is for sure.
Thank
Excellent.
you.
Awesome. So with paranormal experiences, guys, who's had experiences? Can you share your experiences? Where does it start for you guys with the paranormal?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I think all of us have had
Let's go.
Yeah.
experiences. Oh my gosh.
Adam, you said when you was 12 you had an experience. Can you share what that was?
You're on mute again.
Ah, he's mute.
Yeah.
Ah, he's
Whoops.
There you
back.
go.
He's back.
I, I live next to a highway, and some of these cars can be very loud, so I have to
That's
mute
cool, man.
something.
Yeah.
But no, long story short, I was laying in bed, and I was towards one end of the bed watching TV, and you know how you feel like when someone sits on the bed, it moves. I felt that on the other side of the bed, and I was laying on like my stomach, my hands up underneath my chin, looking up at the TV, and I felt that the bed moved like somebody sat on it, and I looked back, nobody was there. I was in the room by myself. No cats, no pets, no dogs. Nobody was in the room, and so I looked. I'm like, I remember just thinking like, okay, and then of course me being a kid, I turned back to watch TV and like, you know, okay,
Yeah.
and
Man.
ever since then I'm like, what is this spooky stuff, So
Yeah. You're a braver kid than me, man. I've been straight out the room.
yeah, I mean, I wasn't frightened, I wasn't scared, I was just like, what was that? And I'm like, okay, well, I don't know,
Yeah.
and I don't even remember what I was watching, but I went back to watching TV. So
That is an experience that I hear a lot of people say is the feeling of someone sitting on the end of the bed. And like
mhm,
that feeling, when there's something there and you feel
Yeah.
the movement and you yeah. Did
right.
you see anything as a kid?
No, that was the only thing that's really happened to me up until I started investigating. Had a few minor things happen, nothing that I would freak out about, or shout to the mountains, about, hey, what, this just happened to me,
Yeah.
like I said, just a few small things, that's happened to me. So
But it was enough to sort of show you that the paranormal is real.
right, right. Just I mean, believing in it and just hearing other people's stories, and people throughout history, they all can't be crazy, they all can't be hallucinating, they all can't be, you know, drunk or something. There has
Mhm.
to be even if you take like half of them, half of the half of someone seeing something, hearing something, there has to be something there
Yeah.
that it's not an everyday thing.
Mhm.
People are seeing, people are hearing, people are experiencing, you know,
It's very
something's
rare to meet someone that's not experienced anything at all. Very rare. You do meet people that go, "No, I've never experienced nothing," and I've got a lot of friends that will tell me they've not experienced something, and then in the next breath, literally, they will tell me this incredible experience that they've had, and I'm like, "How can you
That's an
not?
experience.
That's an experience,
Yeah.
man. You've seen a
there you
ghost,
go.
brother. You've seen a ghost."
Yeah. It's like they want to logically, try to debunk it or
Rationalize it.
something. Yeah,
Yes.
and so they don't really, they put it in the back of their mind,
Yeah. I get it
Yeah.
because it's scary. Like I
Yeah.
do get. I mean, I've had experiences and it is scary. Like, and I think a lot of people. It's not normally the people that are like, no, it's not real. Never experienced anything. Are normally like people that like to be in control. This is just my
Yeah.
theory. And
Yeah.
you can't really control the paranormal. Like it's if a ghost is going to turn up in your room, you can't stop it. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think that's what scares a lot. You can't. That's scary. Obviously, that is scary. Um, so I think that's what it is. That's
Yeah.
just my theory.
Hey,
That's a
hey,
good theory.
Adam. Hey,
Yes.
Adam, you should, one of the things that comes up in my mind, and you can tell me whether you don't want to talk about it or not, but
Oh yeah.
the entire team experienced it with you was at Jefferson.
You've got to tell us now, Adam.
How you were feeling?
I
You can't do that.
I just remembered I have a package to pick up. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Oh no, Adam, no.
Um, it we man, where do I start?
Well, we were doing
This
EVP work.
yes, yeah, we were all up in the attic in the Jefferson
Oh.
Hotel near the disappointments room, and I mean one of the things that always was got my attention was how people on these ghost hunting shows, how they always talk about the atmosphere in the room changed, the atmosphere and the air
The
changed. You
feeling.
can feel the
Mhm.
negativity in the atmosphere,
Temperature.
and I never experienced that till that night. I never knew what they were talking about exactly until that night because it just seemed to change. Like how you turn on the light, you know, the light is on, or how you turn it off, it goes dark. Like it felt like it was like that. Like if somebody hit a switch and the air around you, around us, above us, it just felt thick and negative. Like if it was a storm or something. And just even like talking about it, like I'm getting like goosebumps. You know,
Goosebumps.
but we yeah, and we all had to get out of there. We all had to leave. Every single one of us, we left
Oh
that
wow.
night, and we all felt like we just had our butts handed to us. Like we just got the crap kicked out of us. We were all feeling not sick, was kind of like mildly sick, but at the same time, like if you just got yelled at, like if you just somebody got after you about something, you know, it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Was you
Like
guys there
you,
as well?
yeah, but with you, Adam, the reason why we left is because we needed to take you out of there because the time that we're talking about, because we've been to the Jefferson Hotel multiple times to investigate, because up in the attic they have a disappointments room, because back in the day, if you had a mentally disabled child, or maybe they're just, maybe they have ADHD, or maybe they have a deformity. Well, a lot of families who were of higher status didn't want to show that they had those types of kids, which is unfortunate and it's ridiculous. So they would lock them away in this disappointments room
Oh man.
to keep them away from society. And so there was a point, I don't remember exactly when, but there was a point that Adam was starting to feel like he wanted to jump off the building.
Oh, that
Wow.
was in the other room.
Yeah. So
That wasn't in the attic. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, there's a time in the attic where we all had to leave because
Yeah.
there was some things being said that was coming through, because Carla was doing the Estes method, and she was just saying things that were really sad, and it sounded like she was talking about a little boy that was injured and that they couldn't see, and it was just getting to the point where it was really depressing. And that was my first investigation with them at Jefferson Hotel. That's when I first met them.
Oh
And so
wow.
we ended up having to leave that room. But months go by, and we end up investigating the Jefferson Hotel again, and Adam had this really dark feeling, so we ended up all leaving to go eat, put some food in our bellies, and get him
Yeah.
away from that area so that he can recoup and regenerate. So he
Wow.
doesn't feel that. Sorry,
But
Adam, did you want
it
that?
seemed, yeah, it truly seemed like he had an attachment.
Mhm.
And so when we were doing the EVP work and he started acting different than us, and he started like grabbing his chest a little bit, and then he's just like, I need to go for a walk real quick. And he just left the room while we continued. And then he came back in and he goes, I feel like I need to jump off the roof. And then it's just like,
Oh,
we're done. And
yeah.
so we all got out of there. We took him out and everything, but it was just, it took us a good couple hours. We went and had something to eat. Once he ate and we were out of there for a while, he was as if it never happened. But it was a scary feeling for all of us because we've never experienced
Or
that.
seen him like that?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It was
or anyone else on an investigation that's going through that. And so we were very, very protective. It's just like
Mhm.
nothing's worth losing someone or getting someone hurt or injured or not feeling well or whatever.
Yeah,
So you take care of your own.
100%. Adam,
Yeah.
was this a feeling that you'd ever felt before, or was it a completely new feeling that overtook you at that time?
It was pretty new, but thinking about that first incident, that first incident, I guess, I do remember because, like Catherine said, we were up at a disappointments room, and I remember sitting next to it, and I remember it felt like my nose was bleeding,
Oh
and
yeah.
I
Yeah, that
checked
was,
myself, and I think that was Terry that was sitting across from me, and I asked him, "Hey, am I bleeding?"
Mm-hmm.
She points a flashlight at me. She's like, "No, you're good." And it just like I felt like blood was coming out, like if I was having a nosebleed, and that was just weird.
and what
Ma-
what Adam didn't understand at the time as well, he was in the disappointments room. It was a very small room. It's only like 6 by 6. So when he was in there and he kept on saying, "Hey guys, I feel like I've got a bloody nose," we were on the outside doing EVP work, and our spirit boxes were saying things like hit and 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 stuff like that. So what the the conversation that we thought we were having with this child, this boy, made us feel like he was showing us what happened to him through Adam,
wow.
because he was abused, the child was abused. And so that's probably the only way the spirit could tell us the story, is when Adam started feeling that way. It's just like, I wonder if he's trying to tell us that this is what happened to him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was
And
just an amazing, I mean, it's amazing when you look back on it, but at the time it was a little frightening.
Yeah, for sure.
and
Yeah.
Adam is the only guy, so the little
Yeah.
boy probably thought, he could, show him.
Relate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
absolutely.
this is the scary part of paranormal investigating, obviously, when to to be taken over by something and to be losing control basically of yourself. I mean, that's a scary thing, and this stuff can be very dangerous. I've talked to a lot of paranormal teams that have experienced that. I would say most teams have experienced that at some point in their investigations, and
Yeah,
it's very common and very scary.
Yeah.
it
Uh,
is scary for
Could,
sure.
could you feel yourself, Adam, being taken over? Is that how it felt? Or
Not taken over. Like I felt me, like myself, but
Mhm.
it's just how have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, or you're taking a nap or something, from one of those dreams where you're you fall and you're about to land on the concrete, or you're dreaming of you're on your bike and you take a tumble and you fall. Like
Mhm.
my body felt like that motion, like
Whoa.
like like not being like pushed or pulled, but like like a reflex, you know, like being like falling, jumping off.
Yeah.
Like I'm ready to jump.
Wow.
If that makes sense,
That's
or
wild. Yeah. That's a horrible feeling. And it normally only lasts for a second in a dream. When you wake up, you're like, oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. But to be like in the physical world and feeling that, that's wild,
yes,
man.
it was.
Wow.
We were very glad that he was able to tell us that he wasn't feeling well
Mhm.
and that he needed to like go get fresh air. I mean, we
Yeah.
were just grateful that he was able to, that he didn't just walk out of the room and then not tell us anything. I mean, we were glad that there was enough going on at the time where he could talk to us and ask us for help and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Wow, man.
yeah.
So Carla and Catherine, have you guys what experiences have you guys had that sort of really opened you to the paranormal? Made you believers or not believers or
Mm. There's quite a few. I mean, like what we were just talking about. I mean, it was kind of like all of us experiencing things at the same time. Um, that same, not the same trip, but it's happened in the same hotel when we went up in the attic where the disappointments room was. And we actually had another couple members from another team that wanted to investigate with us go up. And we started communicating with the flashlights and the cat balls and some other pieces of equipment, anything that had a light to it. And we had it from one end of the attic all the way to the opening of the disappointments room. And we had a teddy bear with a cat ball in it. And we felt like we were being able to communicate with that young boy. And then something darker. And we believe it was the grandfather, an older gentleman that kept interfering, like didn't really want the child to talk. And so was making a REM pod that was right in front of us just go off and very high pitched noises and just irritating, like they were just on it and it wouldn't stop. So it was just like, we're going to turn the thing off if you don't back off,
Mhm.
type of a thing. And then they finally backed off. But one of the highlights of that night, and it was almost like watching your child at a football game or something, because it was just like, we need to really see if this is real. I mean, yeah, you can get something to turn on lights or turn off lights or do something, but it's like, try something really difficult. So we asked, can you turn on all the lights at the same time, no matter what type of light it was, just get them all going. And we said, we know it's going to take a lot of energy. And Catherine was filming the whole thing. And sure enough, every single light went off. All of it from one end to the
Whoa.
other, it all lit up. And we were clapping and yoo-hooing and
Yeah,
so
that's
excited because it
awesome.
was just like, yeah, did it. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we were just acting like a very proud parent
Yeah, that's
of
awesome.
doing something, but it
When
was
something like
crazy.
that happens, like when something like that happens, you guys are there, you know that that's happened, and how can you explain that? Like
You
Yeah.
can't. That's
that's
why
a
it's like, make it
that's
difficult.
enough.
Try and get it to where, it would be so difficult you think to do or pull
Hmm.
off, and then it happens and you're just like blown away.
Hmm. Yeah,
So pretty exciting
that's
stuff.
awesome, and you got that on camera as well.
Yes, we did.
Yes, and
Awesome,
it's on my personal YouTube channel, Crazy Catherine. And I
awesome.
believe that was part, let me see, back to the historic Jefferson Hotel. I think it's part 3 because I believe I'm trying to fast forward through the video on my cell phone. Yeah, that's part 3 is where we're investigating with another team, and in that video is when all the lights go on and everything. I try to keep
That's
as
awesome.
much as possible because when you're paranormal investigating, sometimes you don't get things right away. It's like fishing,
Yeah.
you'll be sitting there for hours,
Yeah.
So
That's a
so
fact.
I try to keep some, of the video, and so that you
Mhm.
can see what kind of questions we're asking, that kind of thing, and maybe something doesn't light up all the time or whatever, but I try to snip it down a little bit in my video so that people can watch it and see what happens.
That's awesome. And sometimes you miss stuff as well. I mean, I've not really
Yeah.
been out paranormal investigating, but I talk to a lot of people that will go back, look at their videos, listen to their audio, and the amount of times they catch stuff that they said like they didn't hear at the time, but it's on the
Yeah.
video or it's on the
Oh, for
recording.
sure.
So
Yeah.
it's good to have that. That's awesome. So do you guys
Yeah.
record every investigation and put it out for people to watch?
Unfortunately, no. I've recorded a lot, but I haven't put it out for everyone to watch. I mean, there's bits and pieces like we'll have on our SFSP, the Unseen Realm podcast, where we'll go over, video footage and some pictures that we caught and all that. But not all of our investigations are on there.
Mhm.
I need
Okay.
to work on getting better at that
That's
so I
cool.
can post it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be
I
cool.
think we learn with every investigation, there's more and more things of like, especially when you review your footage and then you shake your head or roll your eyes because it's like, God, we talk a lot.
Or we're whispering or something.
It's
Yeah.
like, we need to do
Don't
better,
whisper.
but in the moment, you don't think you're doing it.
Yeah. And then
Go for
also, you try to debunk things too,
Mhm.
as you're investigating or going, because it could be somebody in the group that was whispering or
Yeah.
that kind of
Do you
thing.
have skeptics in the group?
I mean, I don't say, I know Adam can be too. I'm gonna throw you there, Adam, but it's good. I mean, I can be too. I trust, but verify. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
that's
no,
true.
for sure.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
We
but
try and
I mean,
debunk as we
Yeah.
go.
yeah,
That's good. Yeah. Could
I
you
don't
get
want to hurt
someone like
anyone's
me?
feelings.
Yeah, no, but you get someone like
But
me that
yeah,
everything's paranormal. I'm like, no, yeah, that's definitely paranormal. But it is good. You need someone there to go, listen, man, that could be this, it could be that.
yeah,
You
it
do
could
need
be,
that.
yeah, your K2 meter could be going off because the wiring in the walls,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
Or
You
so
can
there's a
hear a
lot of times
noise.
where you just like throw evidence out or set it aside because you just can't. You
Mhm.
can't guarantee that it wasn't someone in another room whispering about something, or so
yeah,
you just kind of just
Yeah.
disregard it.
It's very hard with, I think, even in today's world, if you caught a picture or a video of an apparition talking very clearly, full bodied, whatever, people are still not really going to believe it. Like nobody's,
Yeah.
yeah,
it's going to be difficult to prove anything going forward. I think it's tough.
yeah,
I think now that AI is out there, I
Hmm.
think it's going to be so difficult
Hmm. Yeah,
to prove to someone else that it's not messed with.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Do you think
just
that's
our
possibly done on
smartphones.
purpose to keep us
Oh,
all confused,
Oh, I don't
questioning
know.
questioning everything? Maybe, I don't know. That's my little conspiracy route.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
I mean,
I personally think you could use AI to fake situations that may have not occurred in the
Hmm.
world. Like you can mock up someone like a celebrity and show them robbing a bank,
Yeah,
and then post it and give it to the news, and then the news will air it,
mhm,
and then the news will say, hey, so and so robbed a bank, and then they'll get arrested and they're innocent, they've been
mhm.
in their
yeah,
house this whole
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But
That's how
you
good
could
it's
use
getting.
AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could use AI to stage a whole situation. So I think,
And same with
eventually,
Same with
it's
their
gonna,
voices.
yes,
Yeah,
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 you can make them say certain things and
Yeah.
incriminate people.
yeah.
If
Well,
I mean, I certainly think that that's possible, and people may end up doing that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, even with us guys, like we do podcasts. Our voices are now out there. They can
Yeah.
now they can now make fake podcasts with our voices just from us saying a few words.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Mhm.
they only need like 4 or 5 seconds of your voice, and
and
they
they got
can
you.
do
Yeah, and
all kinds of stuff
you can
with
say
it.
anything. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Kind
So
of scary.
it is scary. Oh
Yeah, and
man.
with like celebrities, they can use them in commercials without
Yeah.
them actually being there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Joe
So,
Rogan. Like listen to the Joe Rogan experience.
Hmm.
There's loads of adverts out there that you get on reels and stuff all the time with him advertising something. And it's nothing to do with Joe Rogan. Like, and he says that on his show as well. Like, it's wild. I know that's Joe
That's
Rogan,
why.
but
yeah.
still,
Yeah.
nobody's
Yeah.
safe. Nobody's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
So, Catherine, at the start, I've got to ask you this because I wrote it down as soon as you said it. You said Goat Man. Can you
Uh-huh.
tell me? Can you tell me more about that? Because
Oh
Goat Man's
yeah.
a fascinating one for me.
So yeah, so Goatman or Goatman's Bridge, it's in Hickory Creek or Denton, Texas. So the 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 whole story behind that is there was a goat farmer who used to sell, milk and, you know, goat milk and different goat products and stuff. And he was native, I mean, he was black. And so the KKK found out about him, and they didn't like that he was selling his products and all that. So they ended up hanging him off the bridge.
Oh
And
wow!
the story goes, when they went to go and look at their handiwork, they went by over by the bridge and they saw that he was gone. And that's what the lure says. And so now, if you knock on the bridge 3 times, um and sometimes like in the forest, they say that you may come across a goat man. And so it's like a goat's man, like a goat's face, but then a man's body kind of thing running around. People said that like when they would park their cars and leave their headlights on, and then like get out of their car or something like that, their headlights would turn off. uh it's stuff like that, and
Mhm.
it's been around since like my parents were in high school. They used to go there, and high school kids would go there and freak each other out. And I know one year we went there during Halloween, and we spent the night in the woods back there, and we heard some kids giggling and laughing, so we decided to scare them. and and it was just me. It
Oh
was me
wow!
and a bunch of guys, and we had our machetes, and we had an axe, and we had
What
a lantern.
a real
Yeah,
machete
yeah,
and
because
real axes.
we're using it to cut
Wow.
down wood so that we can make a fire.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing else.
Yeah. Woo.
She says.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
I'm telling.
at the start when you said you're not crazy, it's coming out now.
Yeah. Well, there's game wardens that will go and they'll check to make sure people got their fishing license, but they'll also go in the woods and make sure that no one's doing drugs in the tent back there.
Yeah.
So we've had game wardens check us too and check our tents. And I remember one time they were like, "Do you feel safe with all these guys around?" And they shine the flashlight in my eyeballs, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." They're all looking at me, because I'm
You've
the
got
only
your
girl.
axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I've got the
they took
machete.
that.
Fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
they would take our axe and our machete, so that they could look. Another guy would look around in our tents and stuff, and while the other guy holds on to those, and he also asked for our driver's license, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
anyways, so back to the story. I know I see I have ADD,
No,
not
that's
really,
cool.
but I mean, I'm not medicated. So I take a left turn. Okay, so coming back, squirrel. No. So we were camping in the woods back there, and we heard some kids giggling and all that over by the bridge. And so we decided we need, to walk the trail back up to where the kids are. And we saw some kids coming down the trail. Well, it's nighttime. So we ended up turning our lantern off. And we turned our lantern off like right when they said hi, because they were saying hi from the distance, because they were kind of nervous because you can hear it in their voice. And so we turned our lantern off and then we started booking towards them. We were running. We're running and they start screaming and they run to the bridge. And then all of a sudden I scream bloody murder. I'm so glad like the cops weren't called and the game wardens didn't come out again. But I screamed bloody murder and I did the best scream. I should have been on a horror TV show or something. I screamed bloody murder and you could hear all the kids at the bridge scream because they hear me scream.
Oh, wow.
And then we got our skinniest friend to hop over our other friend's shoulder, and he carried him like he was dead and had an axe, and he carried him over through the woods and put him on this. I swear there was a Boy Scouts of America bench out there at Goatman's, but I don't see it now, so I don't know what happened to it, but I swear there was one. But anyways, he flopped him onto the bench and he acted dead. I mean, he hit that bench hard, but he was alive. And you could hear the kids, and we come out of the woods and you could hear the kids saying, "You can't be serious, you can't be serious." And then our friend gets up and we're like, "No, we're just messing."
Oh, you told him. You told him.
Yeah, we told him. We didn't want to keep it on for too long. I was thinking
there's probably like a group of kids out there that are adults and telling this story. Like, we saw the goat man, we heard the scream.
There's a girl back there too.
Probably had them on the podcast telling me about it.
We had to go change their clothes.
Yeah, but it was so funny. They told us they wanted us to scare their friends because their friends were coming over too. So
yeah,
we helped them out there too.
Wow. I wonder how many people out there that have had like experiences like that, but then they to this day they still believe it was the goat man.
Oh man.
Or do you know what I mean?
Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Like how many people are actually just messing around and getting a kick out of it.
And you've just scarred them for life.
Yeah, no, I would at least tell them afterwards.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to leave them hanging. I mean, I do have, empathy here,
Yeah. Yeah. Not full psycho.
Tiny bit.
Yeah.
So when you was there at the Goat Man, did you have any experiences that were strange?
Well, at the time, no, because first off, we weren't looking to conjure up anything. We were there just to roast marshmallows, listen to the coyotes in the background, and eat hot dogs and tell spooky stories, but not try and stir up anything. And what's so surprising to me is we used to go in the fall and the springtime because that's when it's chilly and cold outside, especially at nighttime. So when we went, there was no bugs. I know like on Ghost Adventures and I know they've been out there and there was like a lot of spiders and all sorts of stuff, but now it's kind of overgrown where we would camp out. So I wouldn't suggest trying to spend the night out there now, especially with some of the weirdos are out there.
Scaring the kids with their axes.
Warning, she's the weirdo. No, but I'm not out there doing like, devil worship stuff,
Yeah.
I don't know, putting, stuff out there. But but yeah, so that was back in like 2009, 2010. So this was all prior to Ghost Adventures, and then like only like the people that lived around Texas or in Texas, so there's probably some people out of Texas that knew about Goatman's Bridge, but I think now since you have different ghost hunting crews that have been there, it's starting to be worldwide, and I don't know, and so it's just attracting a bunch of people. And there was a lot of graffiti the time I made that video on my YouTube channel, and I was just kind of in shock and felt kind of bad because the place was just
Trashed.
Yeah, and then they repainted it, which was nice. But now I just think it attracts everybody and everything out there, and not everyone's savory person. And I don't really
Yeah.
know how often, because I know when we went there, the game wardens would check us, check our tents, make sure, tell us to make sure you put out your campfire once you're done camping here, that kind of thing. I don't know how often they do that now, because that was, like I said, back in 2009, 2010, because apparently maybe it's not often enough, because if there's people out there, doing rituals,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
stuff like that now, and trying to conjure up things, I'm
Mhm.
sure, if there is anything out there now, I'm sure it's because people have been conjuring up, who
Yeah.
knows what, and it's not the goat man. I feel bad for
Right.
him.
Mhm.
It's probably some, who knows what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you find that with a lot of these places that are sort of commercialized, like haunted houses and stuff, when you get all the teams going there, and I think, and I've spoken to people before about this, so this is not my theory, but that you can, that the fear there and the energy that you put into it can create something there as well.
Mhm.
Oh
That
yeah.
you can,
Yep.
like, there's something to that, I think, as well.
Agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. There's some locations that we really like going to, that we know have been had or have had other teams go in that are probably doing a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing. Like, a lot of times the owners will say no Ouija boards, but then they'll bring a Ouija board in and start doing stuff.
Mhm.
Or they'll do some type of, like Catherine was saying, ritualistic type stuff. And
Yeah, that's scary.
that's just not good.
Yeah.
It's not good
And
for the location.
I'll put a disclaimer out there: not all rituals are bad. So before anybody comes after anybody,
Yeah.
you know what we're talking about, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you connect it to like a Ouija board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
yeah, because people want to play and conjure up things, and of course they're not, staying the night there. They're going to end up going home to their sweet little homes,
hmm
but they don't know what some people don't know what they're doing.
And you
and
can
what they're
take stuff
conjuring
home.
up.
Yeah, and you can take stuff
Yeah,
home
Yes.
with you.
yeah,
I've heard that many times. Like, you got, this stuff is scary, like, and it's dangerous for sure.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Man,
It's not the haunted mansion hitchhiking ghosts.
no,
Please,
no.
no. It's not
Casper
Disney.
Casper the Friendly Ghost. No,
Yeah,
No,
not all the
no.
I'm sure
time.
there are, but it is
Yeah.
at the same time dangerous and scary. Have
Yeah.
you guys seen any apparitions or anything like that?
I've seen a shadow person in a old historic jail one time, but of course, you know how we were talking about this. Um, I was some of the other investigators were in the jail cells doing EVP work. I was sitting outside the jail. It was still dark, but just outside that room there was it was like backlit because there was another light on in a room, so you could kind of see. And I saw a shadow move very slowly in the human form, from like it was going into the female cells. And it was just one of these things where I'm like, I see it and I'm like, guys, 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 and they're like, what? And I said, there was just a shadow person. And that's the first
Whoa.
time I'd ever seen a shadow person
Yeah.
before. And it was just, it's just one of those where it's like, I had my phone, I had a camera, did I do anything with it? Nope.
You
I
don't
was
think of that
just
though.
fixated on looking at it, and probably thinking if I was to look away to try and get something ready, it'd be done. It'd
Yeah.
be gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
When you see something like that, you're just so, you can't believe what you're seeing.
mesmerized.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Like, I
very
did an
crazy.
experience with my mother-in-law where we saw, like, I call it a UFO, but we don't know what it was. It was like three objects moving in the sky and moving up and up. And me and my mother-in-law are watching it, and I had my iPhone in my pocket, but I didn't even think of getting it out because, because you just don't. You're just so amazed by what you're seeing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
What was what did the shadow figure look like? Can you explain? Was it like
It was like it was like a human form mass, but it wasn't a solid mass. It was like a translucent, dark, like like kind of like just a black fog type thing moving.
Could you make
It
out?
didn't scare me. It was just one of those things where it's like, can't believe I'm seeing this. And I can't believe nobody else is seeing it with me.
Yeah. Is it real?
I know, right?
Could you make out if it was the shape of a man or a woman or anything like that? Could you make that out?
No. But when we talked to the um, jail keeper person, they said it's the female. She went into, she was going from whatever room that was into the female cell. But it was
Interesting.
just like having us there didn't seem to bother it. It was just doing its own thing and just moving from one space to another. It was just amazing.
Yeah, that's a cool
Yeah,
experience.
it was a cool experience.
Have any of you guys experienced anything like that?
When I was a little girl in my parents' house, I was in the bathroom and I looked up in the mirror and then I saw this figure standing behind me, and it was just like the side, like you can see this the silhouette
Hmm?
of a man, and it was white but see through a little bit.
Mhm.
And it was behind me and it went past me like it was going to go down the stairs. And so when I turned to look down the stairs, I didn't see anything. And so I was telling my mom about it because I remember telling my mom that I saw someone standing behind me, but like just their side profile, and then just walked down the stairs.
Wow.
And he kind of had like a nose like you, like my mom. So I was just telling her that. And when I was a little girl, like when I would lay on the couch, because it was one of those I forget what you call them. I'm getting old. No, I'm just kidding. It's one of those couches with like a chase or a lounge on the side that's connected to it. And I was laying on that, and I could feel like my left side of my arm was really cold, but then like my right side was just normal warm, temperature. And I was telling my mom to come over and feel this because it's cold over here, and I don't know why, because the air conditioning vent is not right there. It's all the way over on the right hand side, in our living room. So it was just really weird. Stuff like that would happen. Um, and then I know it's not apparition, involved, but when I was a little girl in elementary school, I was in the girls' restroom, and I heard something say Zenaida, which is one of my friends at the time. Uh, she's still one of my friends, but elementary school friend was going to walk into the restroom, and then all of a sudden, my friend Zenaida came into the bathroom. And this was whenever I was little, and it just stuck with me. And like I said, like my grandma has always been into the paranormal. She's had weird experiences at her house. She still has weird experiences at her house. She hears Native American drums drumming while she's trying to sleep. So sometimes she'll yell and say, "Turn it turn it off, could y'all stop pounding that drum?" And then sometimes she'll stop.
Wow.
and
That's
and so
funny.
she still has things go on at her house. And she tells me about it and stuff, and we would watch, like I said, those shows, and she would record it on VHS, so when I come over to spend the night, we would watch it.
Yeah, that's
And then she'll
awesome.
cook me pancakes in the morning. I mean, it's always been I've always been fascinated with that side, and wanting to know, like, what's going on besides us being here physically. There's something else going on, whether we're in the matrix or not.
Yes.
Like,
Let's
like
go.
what? Yeah. I'm like, I like the mystery first off, and then trying to, the other side of me, I like to solve problems, and solve mysteries, and I do that at work sometimes. So I'll figure out why our claim system is not working right. So, you know, stuff like that. So I do that too, like trying to figure out what's going on here, whether it's to debunk something or if it's really paranormal or not, because there is some things that are unexplained and I like that, but then also I kind of want to know why is that happening.
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. If you can work it all out, great. Please
I
tell
think
us.
that's what every team's goal is, trying to crack the code.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said
it's fascinating.
you said you saw, so the apparition you saw, you said it had the same, did you say it had the same nose as your mum?
Yeah.
So do you think that was possibly like a family member that was
Yeah.
coming to visit?
Yeah. When I told my mom, I remember her telling me it could be your Uncle Charlie.
Wow.
Because my uncle passed away when my mom was 17 from a motorcycle accident. And so I mean, even though my Uncle Charlie was her half brother, they, you know, she mentioned it could have been him or it could have been um, the previous owner's friend of the house. But
Mhm.
I mean, I just remember my mom telling me that it could be her brother. So
Interesting though.
I was just like, oh, okay, you know, that's all.
Yeah.
But it didn't scare me, you know. So
Yeah,
like so
that's
far,
interesting as well. That it
yeah,
didn't scare you.
yeah. I mean, like when things happen, like I've had something that gave me like goosebumps that kind of freaked me out at Bowers Mansion. Carla, you remember when we heard that coming down the
Yeah.
stairs? That
Wow.
freaked me out at first. I didn't jump. I just sat there and I hear Carla say, "What was that?" And then I just start laughing hysterically, not because I'm crazy, but just because.
I swear I'm not crazy.
That too.
My ex.
But it was just so fascinating. Like, did we just hear like a disembodied like
Voice,
voice?
yeah.
You
Mhm.
know, and it was, you know, scary, kind of shocking at first because you know, you're not expecting it. When you're not expecting it, of course, it's gonna kind of shock you. But then again, I found it so fascinating, and that's
Yeah.
you know, so instead of being scared of something, like instead of being scared of the unknown, look at it like, you know, with interest, like, you
Mhm.
know, uh you're fascinated, you want to know why this is happening, you know, like a scientist almost, you know, like
Mhm.
trying to figure it out kind of thing. Don't be
Mhm.
scared because
Yeah.
not, you know, we don't need to be scared of the unknown.
Yeah.
Investigate it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do get scared sometimes though. That's for
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Well, it's just like, you always hear about teams that, you hear you spend most of the night asking questions and, um, you know, uh, put out your hand and touch my hand, or, some type of direction, let me know, a sign that you're here. And then when they do, you get people that freak out and run and stuff. And it's just like,
Yeah. That's what
you
you've
just
asked for.
ask them to do stuff for you.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, if something that came out and like grabbed my hand, you know, I'd probably like, you know, who knows? I may scream, but then I'll
Mhm.
start laughing.
Yeah. That nervous laugh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the
Everything's
time.
fine.
that's enough now. That's enough.
Yeah. I will tell you though, like if I'm by myself and away from the team, then yeah, then things start running through my head and I do get, you know,
Mhm.
nervous.
Yeah.
So
Imagination starts going.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
watch they're gonna lock me in the jail when we go to Palace. What
You
is it?
never know.
Palestine.
We would never do
Yeah,
that.
because we're gonna investigate in Palestine, Texas. There's the jailhouse, and they have a place in there where they can lock you in. Was it?
Solitary.
Yeah,
Solitary.
lock
Mhm.
your friend in
Ooh.
solitary.
Oh man.
I'm not giving y'all ideas.
Yeah. I don't know if I would like that. I get a bit claustrophobic to be
Yeah,
That's what
actually
they're trying
locked
to
in.
raise. They're trying to raise money to help with the maintenance of the jail. So they're
Mhm.
they're asking for like there's donations, like if you can make 10 minutes in there by yourself.
You got to
And
do it,
it's just
guys.
like, well,
You got to do it. All of you.
how much of a tax write-off do you really want?
Yes.
yeah.
Adam, I've got to
That's
ask
for
you.
the kids.
Yeah. I wrote this down at the start as well. You said you're interested in Bigfoot and UFOs. Have any of you guys experienced anything with cryptids or UFOs? No.
I haven't.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Adam?
Um,
Adam?
I have never experienced anything like that, but I still have a fascination of it,
Mhm.
just as much as I do with ghosts and haunted places and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Those are like my three main interests to me.
Do you think there
Um,
could be a connection between cryptids and the supernatural, the paranormal?
yes and no.
Hmm.
Because there are those reports of like people seeing uh like a spaceship beaming down a Bigfoot. And to me, I always think of that as how aliens abduct people. They take them in their ship, they study them, experiment on them. I'm thinking what they're doing to us, they're doing to Bigfoot. They're doing to tigers. They're doing to gazelles. All sorts of life forms on this planet. So I figure a Bigfoot wouldn't be no different than abducting a human or a chimpanzee or a dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, man. So, guys,
So that,
we're coming to our hour mark. I know you guys have got to go soon, but I've loved talking to you tonight. I really have. It's been super fun.
It's been a
Um,
lot of fun.
I've
Yeah.
loved it. I've laughed a lot tonight. My face is actually hurting from laughing.
Oh,
We
So,
appreciate you
good.
having
thank
us
you.
on.
Thank you. I'd like to sort of round up with you're on Let's Get Freaky. So, what is your freakiest experience? You might have already told us. You probably have. If you have, don't worry. But what is your freakiest experience in all of the paranormal or in life?
I have one.
Go.
Um, so so there's a sign in Cleburne. When I arrived there for an investigation, it was actually a Parapalooza event, which is like a bunch of vendors and all that get together, and we have other paranormal speakers. Well, I arrived there before everybody else, and there was a sign that said "You're meant to be here" or something like that. Um, I have it on my Facebook, but it said "You're meant to be here," and the following day, we go and investigate a restaurant in Cleburne, Texas, called Jimmy's, which they have wonderful food, by the way. And a couple weeks prior to that, I had a dream that uh, I was training someone, and I'm no longer a trainer, although I do still train at my job. I'm actually part of management now, and so um, I was training someone, and then they went to go and tell my boss that I yelled at him and all that, which is out of character for me. But for some reason, my boss in my dream believed them, and no one believed me. Even my coworkers didn't believe me, and so everyone was against me, and I felt like I was going to get fired and all that for no reason. Um, and that's what happened in my dream. So when we investigated this place, short story, um, I felt like no one believed me because I saw something in the door, and we were doing a live Facebook video, and no one caught it on Facebook. And for some reason, I started to get really upset. And I was just like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, the dream that I had like 2 weeks ago popped into my head. And so I'm like, why am I thinking of this dream? And why am I so upset? Well, we end up going upstairs, and we found out who we were talking to, which is a man by the name of John. I forget his last name, but he was hung in the square there in Cleburne. And basically, the gist that we got from it is that we don't know, we can't prove that he murdered someone or not, um, but he was accused of murder, and everyone didn't believe him.
Ah.
And so all of a sudden, we were doing the flashlight method up there, where the flashlight will go on for yes and then off for no, or stay off for no. And I just felt this urge to ask, and I didn't really want to speak out about it, but I was just so extremely upset. And I'm like, why am I so upset? And so I asked, are you making me feel this way? Is this related to the dream that I had a couple of weeks ago? And all that. And then the flashlight kept going off like crazy. And then we also had a psychic medium with us. Her name is Amy. She has a TikTok called Call Me Claire. And she was telling me that it's not meant for me to keep, that he knew that he could, get me to relate to him by sending me this dream that I had a couple weeks ago. So that's why I'm
Wow.
feeling this way. So the emotions that I'm feeling, it's not meant for me to keep. And so at the end of that, the spirit box, the ovulus, ended up saying, rest in peace. And then Amy, Call Me Claire, ended up turning and telling me, see, you were meant to be here. And that's when the sign that I saw Friday, the day before, popped into my head that I saw when I got there.
Whoa.
So it all
Yeah.
comes full circle.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
It's a trip.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
That I do think there's so much more to our dreams. Like that
Yeah.
is, there's
There's
definitely.
no
I used
coincidences.
to 100%. Yes,
Coincidences.
I
Yeah.
say that a lot. Yes, that's.
Yeah.
I used to think there was, but since doing this show and looking into this stuff more, it's definitely not. Oh
Yeah.
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, when you have a dream like that and it stands out, like 'cause you dream every night, and like sometimes you forget your dream, sometimes you wake up and like that was
Yeah.
weird, and then sometimes you have a dream that is so like wow, and it can affect your day. Like I've had that before where a dream's affected my
Oh, for
day, and I'm
sure.
like keep thinking about it, like what was that all about? And
Yeah.
there's something more going. I don't know what it is, obviously, but there's something. But that's wild that this entity,
Mm-hmm.
the ghost, could have put this feeling into you via a dream.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's almost like that they knew that she was coming
Yeah. Yeah.
and he'd be able to get his story told that way.
Yeah.
So after that spirit box said rest in peace, all of us looked at each other like there's nothing else we can investigate tonight that would top
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
investigation.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Because people say like in the spirit world, the other realm, whatever it is, that time is not how we perceive time. Time is irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
is there something to that where this entity, whatever, knows that you're there? I don't know if that's making sense, but this entity knows that you're going to be there at that time because time is completely different where he is. I don't know, but yeah.
And you know what's crazy is another paranormal team called Ghoul Gals investigated. They were at Jimmy's, and prior, and I don't know if it was years prior, and they got the names Amy, who's Call Me Claire, and my name, Catherine. And it
Whoa.
was years prior, and they brought us on their show because after us telling our story, what happened in Cleburne at Jimmy's,
Hmm.
they went back through their videos and came across this video from years ago of how they thought they were talking to a spirit named Amy or Catherine, but no, they were
Wow.
dishing us out. It was
Before,
weird.
this is before you had that
Yeah,
experience.
and this is before I even
Isn't that a trip?
joined Southern Fried
Whoa.
Spirits, before I even met them.
That's
It was just
wild.
weird.
That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Like you
Because
just can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
no, because that's something else that people say a theory is that um are you talking to a spirit or are you just talking to an energy from the past or the future? And that is wild. The
Yeah.
fact that you experience, my brain's just gone boom. But
Yeah.
the fact that you could, I don't even know how to explain it.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah, interesting. It's very
Yeah.
interesting. Wow, guys, I know we've gone over our hour mark now. Have you guys got any more experiences to share, or do we need to wrap it up? But I've loved talking to you tonight.
Yeah. We love talking to you too.
Agreed.
Oh, we could do this for hours, but
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, guys, you're welcome back anytime. I've loved talking to you. Keep us posted with what happens in
for
the
sure.
future. Can you tell the listeners where they can find you?
Yes, so they can find us at SFSP The Unseen Realm on YouTube. You could also check out our Facebook page at Southern Fried Spirits Paranormal. We also have a link tree, so I can send you our link
Yeah,
tree.
I'll add that. I'll add
Yeah,
that to
so
the
then
show
you can
description.
post that, and it has different links. We also have a TikTok channel. Jackie does all of our videos there. She does a wonderful job, and she makes beautiful paintings. Y'all should check out her paintings. And that one is SFS Paranormal on TikTok.
Awesome. I will share the links
Yes.
in the show description. You guys are great. You've got great
Oh,
energy.
thank you.
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
so
be,
much for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be watching and listening, and I'm looking forward to seeing what is coming in the future with you guys. So keep up.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. Please share the
Yep.
show if you enjoy it. Make sure you check out these guys.
Absolutely.
Links will be in the show description. Keep up the great work. Keep it freaky, but stay safe. And stop scaring kids with axes.
Good
Guys,
night.
thank you so
Good night,
much. Good night,
everyone.
guys. Thank you.
Good night.
See
Good
ya.
night.